Good to see you all again. We've had quite a ride together. Berchtesgaden, the Fuhrer's own stash. Perhaps your finest hour, Captain Jefferson.
Anytime I'm taking Nazis down the peg is my finest hour. Besides, these bastards had a Vermeer hanging next to a Valkenburg. Sure, they're both Dutch, but wrong damn century.
Olivia, your field work at Neuschwanstein led us to over 6,000 pieces stolen from private collectors in France.
The Nazis have taken so much from us all. This art belongs to the people.
And who can forget the Merker's salt mine?
Yeah, I know what I did, but hold your applause. I'd rather try knobbing a rolling donut before I bust my arse with your pennies again. It's not worth it, mate.
Duly noted. Which brings us to Middleburg and the current operation. Dr. Fisher?
10 days ago, we received a dossier. Material smuggled out by a young Austrian scientist who's reconsidering his loyalties. In it, he provides the location of a hidden bunker, where Dr. Straub and Colonel Richter have been collecting some peculiar pieces. Whatever they found, it's being used to power some kind of experiment.
You have no idea what you're dealing with, do you?
Your mission is to seize that relic. Everything else is on a need-to-know basis.
Is it just me, or does it seem that we're a wee bit late to the party? I didn't sign up for this shite.
None of us did.
But here we are, and you have your mission just as I have mine. To find and rescue the scientist who risked his life to get us this intelligence. Klaus Fischer, my brother.
I'm in antiquities, darling, not search and rescue. Best of luck.
What the hell was that?
I told you this was bugger! I often told you!
What was that thing? Roston, Olivia, Jefferson.
Hello, welcome to my channel and thank you very much for tuning in and turning on. Okay, since November 2008, since Treyarch and the development team took a little bit of their spare time, God bless, well they first introduced us to Nazi zombies back in the day, back in that little bunker.
Nacht der Untoten.
And since then we've been shooting the heads off of the hordes of maggot munchers who scream their way towards us for what almost feels like a lifetime. And yep, we love it, we continue to love it. We did get a wee break with Extinction, but let's not ponder too much over that one. Now this year, 2017, is going to be different. I believe it's going to be another season of relentless bloodbaths which ooze from the stinking flesh of reanimated military corpses, and this year I believe is going to be one to remember. World War II Zombies excites me, it rejuvenates my faith, it fires up my adrenaline to a point where I almost feel as if I'm going to internally combust. Thank you, Sledgehammer. Okay, we have the basis of a storyline which will hopefully evolve into something special. Now this storyline can be mustered together by locating and listening to audio recordings made by Klaus Fischer. These audio recordings can be found all over the village of Middleburg, and once put together we form the basis of our storyline. Now this is what we have so far. Marie and Klaus Fischer, brother and sister, were born in Germany before World War II. Now their father, Heinz Fischer, well, he created weapons for the German Imperial Navy during World War I, and after that war, the war supposedly to end all wars, well, he retires to Middleburg, a small mining village on Mount Untersberg in Bavaria. Heinz opens a toy shop and starts to design and create toys for children. His son, Klaus Fischer, well, he becomes a scientist in adulthood, with hopes and dreams of forming a collective allegiance amongst other members of the scientific community in order to seek out new discoveries to help Germany regain its ancient glory. But his father becomes ill, and Klaus has to look after his father and look after the toy shop. Klaus becomes depressed after having to call a halt to his ambitions. The Nazi Party at this time were growing in popularity, and Klaus becomes sympathetic to their cause, believing that their cause is only for the good. His sister Marie, on the other hand, well, she only sees the dark side of the Nazi Party and disagrees with what was unfolding within her homeland and defects to the British Secret Service. Klaus and Marie become estranged after horrendous arguments between each other. Whilst in Middelburg, Klaus discovers an ancient relic. The hilt of a sword belonging to one Frederick Barbarossa. History tells us that Barbarossa was the Holy Roman Emperor from 1155 AD until his death in 1190. He was elected King of Germany at Frankfurt in 1152. He was also the King of Italy and the King of Burgundy. Barbarossa was in effect a crusader, leading his knights and his armies towards occupation throughout the modern world. His historical biography is well worth a read, but we are more interested with the legend of Frederick Barbarossa, which Sledgehammer have taken the liberty to base the supernatural side of our story upon. Now, as I said, Klaus finds the hilt of Barbarossa in a cave within Mount Untersberg and contacts the Nazi Party. Klaus believes that some higher power has set him a new purpose in life, and that the relic may be of great assistance to the ambitions of the Nazi Party. Legend says that Barbarossa is not dead. He's merely asleep with his fellow knights inside this cave. The legend goes on to state that when the ravens stop flying around the mountain, he will awake and restore Germany to its, wait for it, ancient glory. And every now and again, Barbarossa sends children out to see if the ravens have stopped flying around the village. Now, in medieval Europe, this golden legend morphed into a popularised interpretation of the biblical end of the world, consisting of these three things. Number 1, terrible natural disasters. Number 2, the arrival of the Antichrist. And number 3, a good king to combat the Antichrist. I believe that this medieval interpretation of the legend of Barbarossa will be significant with regard to future DLCs. Anyway, after receiving Klaus Fischer's message about finding the ancient relic, the Nazis immediately dispatch a Dr. Straub and a Nazi officer called Reich to Middelburg and occupy the village. Straub and Reich try to dislodge and remove the hilt, and whilst doing so they uncover an electrical coil which accidentally kills 2 of Richter's soldiers, but they are reanimated back to life. This is when Dr. Straub discovers Geistkraft, the energy inside all of us which allows us all to exist as functioning members of the human race.
The Führer had eyes for something exceptional from my stuff. A soldier who does not rest, a soldier who does not fear, and a soldier who does not shy away from the shadow of death. I have found that soldier. Or perhaps it is better to say that I have birthed him. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I had begun to lose hope in our ability to find artifacts of significance. But then, divine providence, the discovery of a lifetime, the hilt to the legendary sword of the Holy Roman Emperor, Frederick Barbarossa, the embodiment of German nobility, German power. The Ahnenerbe was sent to reclaim the sword piece for Hitler's personal collection, and they could not move it, not with chains, not with tractors, nothing. When the mountain will not come to... I brought everything to the mountain. My tools, my stuff, the foremost weapons expert in the Wehrmacht, Gruppenführer Heinz Richter. Little did we know that we were about to uncover something that would change our understanding of the world.
Dr. Stroud begins to manipulate the spacecraft by reanimating dead corpses, surgically constructing super soldiers in order to serve his will, soldiers which are stronger and more tolerant to pain.
Even without breaking through the magnetic force surrounding this hilt, we have been able to siphon off vast amounts of energy. And this is where I made my greatest discovery. During one of my early experiments, an attempt to draw power from the hilt, a cable became overheated and snapped. It struck the pair of guards. They were killed instantly. They were dead. And then they were not. I watched as the first soldier began to switch violently and then began walking towards me. And the corpse's intent was clear. It meant to kill me. Luckily, more soldiers had arrived by then and were able to put it down. But I had seen something astonishing. I had seen death overcome, and I had seen a vision of our Führer's future.
Gruppenführer Heinz Richter, on the other hand, was only interested in the strange physics which rooted the hilt of Barbussa's sword to the mountain. Realising the hilt would not budge, at one point Richter wanted to dynamite the mountain and turn it into rubble. He could foresee the potential of the strange electrical power and was only interested with the possibility of using it to create super weapons. Richter began to take more and more resources away from Dr. Straub, and this quickly created friction between them. Klaus, after witnessing the constant fights between his superiors and realising only evil intentions were racing through their minds, well, he decided to sabotage the project and put an end to all of it. Well, he could only try. The Tesla gun, our wonder weapon which we craft during our time exploring the village of Middelburg, utilises this strange energy which surrounds the hilt, and Klaus decides to hide this information and hide the information with regard to the upgrade of these Tesla guns. Well, we could assume that this particular weapon is named after a Serbian-American inventor called Nikola Tesla, who was born and raised in the Austrian Empire during the latter half of the 19th century. Tesla is best known for his contributions to the design of the modern alternating current electricity supply system, and eventually was able to perfect and patent this revolutionary concept in 1888, 4 years after moving from his homeland. Tesla became a naturalized citizen of the United States and remained there, setting up laboratories in New York until his death in 1943, and had no links to the Nazi Party, but he did gain practical experience during the early 1880s whilst working in telephony and Continental Edison in Austria. We could also assume that Colonel Richter worked there also and was privy to some of Tesla's genius. Okay, let's continue with the sabotage, or the desired sabotage of which Klaus stealthily orchestrates before sending his dossier of information to his sister Marie. Klaus secretly hides the information and equipment required to upgrade the Tesla gun around the village of Middelburg with enclosed cabinets, paintings and statues, with the confidence that his sister will find them. Marie informs her superiors of the information she has received from her brother, and is given permission to assemble a group of individuals who are not only opposing the Nazis but are also experts within the art world and have unparalleled knowledge of ancient relics. These talented individuals are required because Klaus has realised that there are other forces who are aware of the sword, a strange Kabbalah, a secret society, and they realise the powers of the sword and are actively working hard to keep these powers out of the hands of others, and who have hidden their secrets within their artwork. During the time it takes Marie to assemble the group, Dr. Straub was able to create his Army of the Dead.
Geist, Kraft. The name I have given this new form of energy. It can be conducted through the human nervous systems, activating the most primitive parts of the human cerebellum. The Untoten are preserved by the same energy that drives them. There are machines now, muscles and bones, driven by the loyalty to their master. I have found that by triggering the pain receptors on these corpses, I can augment the soldier's strength and speed. As someone who has extensively studied the effects of pain, it was inspirational. I have found my purpose here. I am to bring pain to the world.
Straub also discovers Klaus's betrayal, and as a punishment, he attaches Klaus to the chest of Straub's most evil creation to date, the Panzernor.
Klaus has been sabotaging my work all along. He will pay. And that bastard Richter, the man sent to assist my work, to protect my facility, he has been seduced by the power of the weapon we can build with the Geistkraft energy. The Untoten have broken free. 5 times now. We are so close to mastery here. So close to building an army. And what happened when their tanks come into view? Their mighty war machines. I am building more than just rank and file soldiers. I am building something that will tear through the mightiest steel and knock their fortresses into dust. I have created the devil himself.
The stage is set, the backstory is extremely vivid, and we, as the players, take on the role of each of the 4 main characters as we venture into occupied Middelburg. Our objective, of course, is to rescue Marie's brother and release him from the gruesome clutches of Dr. Straub's demonic creation. But we also, and we wouldn't have it any other way, well, we also stumble across many other mysteries and clues of a future expansion to the story. After we succeed with the destruction of the Panzernor, we are rewarded with the hilt of Barbarossa's sword, but Marie's heart is broken when her liberated brother stumbles his way through the village and throws himself onto the fire pit. But just before he commits this act of suicide, he shouts,
"Do not follow me! There are other voices in the darkness! I must go to them!"
From whose facial orifices do these voices come from? And why should we be afraid of them? What is this strange aura that surrounds the body of Klaus? And where is this darkness? So many questions, so many answers. So many answers yet to find.
Keep fighting! The Emperor!
It's only been a month since we first opened our first Iron Gate, and the zombie community are already scratching their heads over possible links and clues which may or may not prove to be relevant. But I, along with so many of my friends, truly believe that we will eventually have to figure out what the zombies are moaning about. They are definitely saying something, but in a language at this moment in time unknown to any of us. If we listen close, there are audio shades of German, Greek, Latin, even English, but nothing is making sense at this moment in time. Dr. Straub describes this language as foul, maybe even spoken by the enemies of Barbarossa, or maybe even by Barbarossa himself, or maybe even by the devil himself. I have no doubt in my mind that we will all be fluent with this particular language within a year from now. So, until episode 2, please take care, and if you like, share your thoughts. Peace.
Reich